Hello, everyone. It's Charlton. Please subscribe to my channel and tap the notification bell. I'd appreciate it majorly. So, the sentencing phase of Amber Guyger, obviously, everybody knows she's been found guilty of murder, which I totally disagree with, and it seems like I'm in the minority. So, this is all largely driven by race. It just is. And, it just goes to show that, when things are flipped around, you get the same result, dude. I'm sure tons of black people have been found guilty by largely white juries in largely white communities and largely white courtrooms. And you get somebody that's, you get a biased result. And you get the same thing when you have the reverse of that. And especially when, it seems like she's been chosen as the poster chick of the pivotal moment. I mean, the defense, the attorneys for the family, they were saying these things out in front of the cameras. This is about Trayvon Martin, and this is about this person, and this is about that person, but all these other, unjust crimes against black men and black women that were killed by police officers. And there may be some truth to that, but I mean, that has nothing to do with Amber Guyger. But she's, that's what this is about. It's just about race. So, and it's going to get worse, definitely. And we're just human beings, all of us, except the very best of us. And I'm not putting myself in that category. Well, maybe, but probably not on this topic on race. But I'm just joking. But just the very best of us are the only. Most of us, we're just human beings, and we cannot help ourselves, no matter who you are. We're biased. We're biased creatures, totally. So, but during the sentencing phase, and as I understand, there's a couple things that I learned. If you watched, some of the coverage today, you learned them yourself. But one, she's in custody right now. She's in jail, Amber Guyger is, and she's going to remain in jail, no matter what. And minimum of 5 years is what she's looking at. That's absolute minimum, and it's probably going to be a lot more. I mean, listening to this dude talk, who's a defense attorney, who actually there was a prosecutor and worked under this prosecutor, the assistant DA that led the prosecution. Hermes is his name. I forget. I think that's his name. I forget his name. So, but he was saying, that that she could, because she elected, her and her defense attorneys elected to have the jury decide. The judge does not decide her sentencing. The jury does at the end of the sentencing phase, which will probably be tomorrow. So it's going back to the jury that just found her guilty of murder. She is toast, dude. And he was saying, she might be looking at 20 years, which is outrageous, man. Obviously a man is dead. It's absolutely tragic. She, especially now that she's been found guilty of murder, I'm a little bit more, I think receptive to things like manslaughter and negligent homicide. But which I was always, I could see that murder's outrageous. This is all based on emotion and race. It's totally racially driven, big time. So, but yeah, she could be looking at 20 years. So, but she's in prison right now, and she's going to remain in prison while she waits, if she appeals, which I'm sure she's likely to do. I mean, somebody said in the comments that that this case could very easily get overthrown simply because the judge didn't allow it to be moved to another location. And I have a tendency to agree with that. And I believe there's many different things that are going to allow it to, maybe be overturned on appeal. And she gets found guilty of a much lesser crime like manslaughter, and ends up getting, 2 or 3 years that she probably serves while she's waiting to get to that appeal. But even like this woman here, who I have no idea who she is, but she's been present during the entire coverage of this trial. Usually there was a different guy here. I don't know his name, they weren't aware of a law change that recently took place in, I think, January 2017. The state legislature of Texas changed the law so that basically it used to be that if your sentence was lower than 10 years, that you could basically get out on bail while you go through the appeal process. So you could be out, free while you're appealing your case. That is no longer the case. And I mean, that's presuming she's going to get a sentence less than 10 years, which she may not. Very, very possible she will not tomorrow, if it's done tomorrow. But even no matter what, it doesn't matter. Even if she got that law has been changed so that you don't get to go out on appeal. You can't be bailed out and remain free while you appeal your case. She's going to be in prison while she waits to appeal her case, if she's going to appeal it. I'm sure she's going to. She is, and actually the judge did allow or insist that she be taken into custody, not in front of the cameras. But she was taken into custody. They talked about it, and it was done. And she's in jail right now, tonight. It's pretty crazy. So during the sentencing phase or part of the hearing today, these things were her attorneys successfully convinced the court to not allow these things to be shown during the guilt or innocence phase of the trial, but they apparently by law they're allowed to be shown during the sentencing phase, or the judge allowed it. Well, I'm not sure which, but it was discussed, and the prosecutors talked about this. One of the prosecuting attorneys, her previous social media posts that she did that make her look horrible. Okay. And, and it's just, it's just the nature of it. Some of the things she said, particularly a couple different comments they're offensive. They're definitely offensive, and it's almost impossible to defend, except that, basically if any of us had our text messages that we talk to each other, just about every single human being talks shit about other people. We all do it, okay? In the privacy of our homes, in the privacy of our own friends, and we just do. And if we ever had this stuff out into the public domain, especially if we're looking at, we just got convicted of murder, we'd be dead, and that's what you have. That's what you have here. So you have work associates talking with each other. There's other officers who are doing the same talk, but they didn't just get found guilty of murder. Okay, or just talking smack on social media posts, which I thought they were harmless. I really do. Even though the prosecutors are pointing to that as her insensitive nature towards African Americans or whatever. But here was a text exchange. They were working, I think, the Martin Luther King Day parade, and they were on duty this day, and they were complaining about having to work that day, kind of thing. In fact, like here is from one of her coworkers to her saying, when does this end? LOL. And she said to this coworker, when MLK is dead. Oh wait, which is, I guess, an attempt at being humorous. Okay, but MLK, Martin Luther King, is absolutely sacred to African Americans, and that statement alone, read to a jury that's, I think, got 5 African Americans in it, and African Americans in the court, is just absolutely toxic to her. Even though she's trying to be funny or whatever, I'm not trying to defend it. Part of this, which I've tried to explain earlier in this trial, is it's my opinion that she's not the brightest girl in the world, okay? And her attempt at being funny with other male officers, probably trying to be one of the guys, trying to sound cool, there is what you have, And she's going to get a massive sentence. Actually, the sentencing, it's all going to hinge on her appeal. So she's going to sit in prison for probably the next 3 years or more while she waits for her appeal. And if she's lucky, she'll win on get her appeal, things overturned on appeal, and be found guilty of manslaughter or something like that, and have served a sentence that she would get, like 2 or 3 years if she's found guilty of manslaughter. There's other things in here, but there's another instance where she's talking about, and she and I think her former former partner who was her lover too, talking about working with other African American officers, and basically sort of insinuating that they don't use the word. They say they work differently, and this is her partner saying it first, and she says, yeah, something like that. She says not being racist, but they work differently. I think the implication is that, in this defense attorney, again, who had worked for the prosecutor, the assistant DA that prosecuted this case, so he was familiar with it. He was saying that it was basically eliciting, the racist trope. I don't even know where that word comes from, trope. It's supposed so it just emerged from somewhere. I have no idea what it means now. Everybody says it now, but suppose the racist trope that African Americans are lazy. It says this is from her to I guess from her to Martin Rivera. I'm not real sure. Damn, I was at this area with 5 different black officers. Not racist, but damn. And then I think that's Martin Rivera to her, and from her to Martin Rivera, I'm not sure which. Not racist, but just have a different way of working, and it shows. I can't tell. Let's see. To Bevins. Yeah, so the second one is her. The second one saying not racist, but have a different way of working, and it shows. Who knows? So I mean, this guy here, this defense attorney, who, and this is what I mean, that we just can't help it. We can't. Whether it's me, whether it's him. If you're white, you have one perspective. If you're black, you have a different perspective. And that's just life, dude. He was saying he was actually expecting manslaughter, but once it was decided it was murder, and this is just like this mob mentality, that everyone's just like, yeah, and everybody wants her to be convicted of murder. I see the comments, even though I don't necessarily buy that. I do think there's a lot of fake stuff out there by fake accounts that are meant to drum up racial tensions on this issue, and I just don't feel like getting into my conspiracy theories on that. But I have one, believe me, like I always. So, but I mean, this dude was even saying that he thought it would be manslaughter, right? But it's murder now, so we could call it murder, and that maybe law schools need to start. I mean, because of the law, what the law is and what they're taught in law school, and he was saying that maybe we have to revisit, how we learn the law. So basically, we should have the mob. We should have the general public teach law school. I mean, it's so silly, It's the moment, and it's the mob, and it's just all racially driven. I'm sorry, and it's just the opposite of when. So this is justice, Now it's the other way around. Sorry, dude. I mean, that's what I see. That's pretty much the story there. So we'll see what her sentence is tomorrow, but it's not going to be good because it's the jury, dude. The jury just found her guilty of murder. So what do you think, they're going to go light on her? No way. Especially after these texts. And there's other social media posts that really aren't even, to me, they were just, I mean, it's just totally smack talking. But the prosecution didn't present him that way. They present him like, she was, trigger happy, and that her whole philosophy was shoot first. And here's one of the, among that evidence shown to the court by prosecutors late Tuesday were copies of social media posts saved and posted by Guyger, some of which were about guns and killing. Yeah, I got me a gun, a shovel, and gloves. If I were you, back the F up and get out of my effing ass, she commented on one social media post. She shared another meme that read, I mean, these are memes. I mean, it's just totally, this is not reflective of, I mean, everybody, the comments of people commenting on this case, people saying just, how they're glad, whatever, just saying disgusting things because, I don't know, whatever. Stay low, go fast, kill first, die last. One shot, one kill, no luck, all skill. This is just social media posts. This don't mean anything. But it's not presented that way in the court today, believe me. And after she just got convicted of murder, you know, and this is being shown to a jury that just convicted her of that, you know, she's toast, dude. Toast, especially with this when MLK is dead. That's just she's done, dude. I don't know. We'll see what they give her. I predict. Let me put a number on it. I'm gonna predict 15 years. 15 years. And that's the story there, man. Thanks for watching my videos. Please subscribe to my channel. Give me a like down below. I'll see you in the next video. Later, man.